Welcome to Tales from the Drive-In. Grab some popcorn and tune in as we discuss the wondrous curiosities of the world on and off the screen. I'm your host, BJ Segura. I'm a filmmaker, paranormal enthusiast, and horror fanatic. Today I am joined by Mimi from Mimi's Hauntings Paranormal, Nicole and Brennon from Ambient Paranormal, and Cañon City local Susan to talk about our paranormal investigation at the Holy Abbey Monastery in Cañon City, Colorado. Come relive the darkness and joy we experienced from this beautiful place. Welcome. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing well. How are you doing?
It's real good. It's been a while. Like, I think 3 weeks now. Is that what we said? Something like that?
Yeah.
Since we were...
Yeah.
So, yeah, we all got to have fun at the Abbey. And, yeah, we were talking a little bit before, just kind of if there were any residual effects or anything like that. Mimi, did you have anything going on?
No, I don't normally do when I leave there. So I always do all my things that I need to do before I leave. Tell them they have to stay. No coming home with me.
So Ambient Paranormal, what is that?
That's our ghost hunting team.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been doing that?
Well, the Ambient one is kind of newish because we had our own team before. And what was the name of the old one? Do you remember?
The old one?
Yeah, your old one.
The old one. I never really had a name for mine. I was just trying. When I was doing it solo, I was trying to make myself like a thing. Like, I don't have to have a name. I'm just Bree. That's what I would say. I'd just be like, I'm an independent agent. And I didn't have a name until I started doing it with you.
Yeah.
But, like, I've been
Fair
doing
enough.
it, God, like almost 12, 13 years around that time. And you've been doing it even longer.
Yeah, I've been on my old channel. It was Paranormal 138. That was the original one, and I've been doing it since like late 90s.
Okay.
Like walking around with a big old camera with a big old battery, and that was torture.
So much easier now, right?
Oh, it's so much easier, especially all the programs now, because now you have all these things you can save and edit so nice. It's just finally somebody realizing we should make this easier on us, and they did.
Oh, yeah. Well, before we get going too far into it, Susan, are you there?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you great. And I know, Susan, you're not, you can't be here for very long, so I wanted to make sure we get your audio of your experience. So it's been about 3 weeks since we met and did all the things at the Abbey. How's everything been going?
Everybody more or less got saged and meddled up and everything because the family, I don't want to say we got scared, because of how we went into it. We're not ghost chasers. We just wanted to see what our gift that we've been given to our family. And we've talked with other siblings. My daughters have talked with other siblings. I've talked to my sibling. And, even though that there was some fear and scariness, I've never done it before, to say in such an environment like this. I've never done it like this, other than, you getting in your car and say, hey, let's, here in Cañon, go up to whatever dark place of the graveyard or whatever, like high school kids would do. So, I mean, it was a better contained experience to me. And, we're still talking about it, thinking about it, and seeing how things are. So,
Yeah, because you guys, I mean, you live down there. Like, you guys are from Cañon City for the most part, right? I mean, you've been there for quite a
Over,
while now.
yeah, over 20 years.
Yeah. And that's crazy that you guys didn't really get to go in there until now. And I guess, did your perspective of it change then from not being able to go in before?
Yes. I do have even a coworker that I wish that I could talk to her father. Her father went to school there. And it would
Really?
be really cool to sit down with him and see how it was like when he went to school there. But I haven't had an opportunity because I was like, oh, really? And what's going on in the video that we've taken, I just haven't had a moment at work, unfortunately. So, getting
Right.
it from that side of a person and how, unfortunately, it's falling apart right now, it's really sad.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, that
I
was a
can't
big
believe how bad
thing.
it's falling apart.
Yeah, and that's
talking about that.
Yep.
yeah, and I think that was one of the biggest takeaways for all of us, that we were like, man, it's there, because you go room to room and some of these rooms are just so beautiful and there's so much that's still intact, and then you go to some of the rooms and it's like, oh my god, this place is gonna fall apart like tomorrow.
Yeah,
That's
no,
Silent
I
Hill
was
vibe
very,
falling apart.
yeah, I was thankful that we could be in there, and I've spoken to other coworkers, shared the videos, share the pictures, that they should go in there. One coworker said that she did a paranormal years ago, but she was only allowed up to the second floor. She's like, how did you guys get all over the place? I'm like, I don't know. We just did it. We just had access. It was fantastic. I said, if you're able to do it, I was like, hey, I'll watch your kids if you really want to do this. And, she's like, okay, I'll think about it. So if any other experience comes up, she definitely wants to at least get to go inside the Abbey, not just for the paranormal stuff, but she wants to see. I mean, this is in our back door,
Right.
and it's not really the community's not being reached out on what's going on. But I love history. I was thankful to be inside.
Yeah, and you guys took me on a little tour of the city as well, which I thought was really cool. That there's more history there than just the Abbey, right? There's all these old buildings and all these cool places, and obviously there's the prison and all of the things there, and it's, I don't know, it just definitely has a vibe that I haven't ever felt before, like in any small city like that. Like, it's just very old and very random in a lot of ways.
It doesn't, like, that's what I was saying when we were there. Like, I feel like I'm in Europe. I don't feel like I'm in Colorado. It's such an old world feel there.
Sure. Yeah. And you're welcome for, letting us I wish we had more time, but I don't know if that's the way that I was brought up. But when people come, it's not like, hey, let's go to Walmart. Let's get out of the box. We didn't get to take you to Skyline. We didn't, get to go into the prison museum, but at least we took you around the little old houses, the cottages, from the good side. I don't want to say the good side of town, the bad side of town, but the side of town that's struggling.
Yeah.
That there's beautiful little homes out there that families are still living in, but they just can't help keep it up. And they're just beautiful homes, and there's it's a dwelling, and then you get the other side that it's like, stay off my yard.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy that so many of the people that live there don't know about the Abbey. Like, I mean, you've heard about it and all the things, but it surprised me that so many people aren't able to go in there and, but I don't know. I don't know if that would help save it. I think that's the big problem that's going on there, is that we're probably one of the last people that will ever get to go into it. I don't know. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
Mimi, do you know?
I think they're gonna have maybe this year, maybe might be. I don't know. If Dennis would have been on here, he might have been able to tell us. But I think he said the last one will be in July.
In July.
July or something.
Okay.
Yeah, the last investigations that he'll ever, I guess maybe that he will maybe deal with it, but I'm not too sure.
Right.
I don't want to quote it wrong and all that, but this will be the last year, I'm assuming, because what we saw when we were in there and just a little bit more rain or something else, you never know what's going to go on because all that's falling down. It's crumbling and yeah.
Well, isn't that like moldy
But he did
and
get
stuff
it
too?
cleaned up. If you guys seen,
I just hope it doesn't start
if you guys
snowing
seen some of the
once I start snowing
video,
again, that's it.
True.
Sorry, go ahead, Mimi.
yeah. If you guys see some of the videos that he put on there when he was walking through, he was getting it cleaned up. But I mean, he can only do so much. So
Right.
the buckets and everything, when they were filling up fast and stuff. So, but I think he got that under control. So if they get a roof, then they might be able to save some of it. I mean, because that's what's the damaging part is the roof.
Yeah.
Is what's causing most of that to leak down. So
Yeah, that's tough.
yeah.
I don't know.
And
Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, and just the money wise, just being able to put it back in there. I don't know if they're wanting donations or we haven't even discussed any of that stuff.
Right.
I mean, we all brought it up. We all were saying, if they can donate or if they can get some way or another to get some money, maybe they could save some of the roof part and make it last just a little bit longer. But I don't know.
That price tag's gonna be a hefty one though.
Right.
Something can be done.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end too, just to raise awareness about it, because it is something that I think all of us felt, and you don't need to look very far to find just how bad it's getting, and it's such a tragic situation. But yeah, it's got a rich history. Susan, is there do you want to speak on any of your experiences before you have to head out?
Let's see. So being in the Abbott's room, on what other people have stated of what had verbalized, we really didn't get any negativity. We didn't get any welcoming either. We had some communication with all the machines that, Jim had brought with us, but we didn't have anything special, anything fun, anything scary in the Abbott room, even though we tried to entice a little bit more conversation. In the upstairs with the little girl, and how we tried not to say anybody's names, and how they picked up the names with the device that we used. I mean, that was kind of weird. And then being in the potato room, the first night that we were there, everything was good. And my daughter's even
the chair room. The chair room's different from the... Yep.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
trying to remember.
I think it is the potato room, but I think that's what they call it, is the potato room. But
okay.
the one with the chair. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
No, the first night everybody had a good time and great communication, but everyone, the second night, whether it was people were talking about the rain, the weather, that the electricity in the area made everybody that the paranormal activity was very ugly, very mean. So that was kind of weird.
Yep.
So.
Yeah.
We got that too. We can relate to that. It was ugly that night.
Yeah, so I guess we all had that feeling, right? The second night was far worse as far as like almost being unwelcome, right? It's like, you guys again, no, we've had it with this
Mimi
group.
had a ghost tell her to go get to her room, yelling at her. You gotta use
Oh, really?
Yeah, go to your room, it says.
Tell me to go somewhere.
Where was that at? Where did you hear that?
That
in
was the chapel.
Yeah, the church, the
In
chapel.
the-
Oh,
in the
wow.
chapel.
Which that's ironic because it's a church, but
Oh, yeah.
That's before it threw something at
Yeah,
Nick.
because he was playing this like a monk music, and then you could hear a voice says, turn it off or piss, and then finally threw some big old object at him, but we couldn't find it. And what was the other one? And when that thing that hit him, you hear a voice going, "Got him!"
yeah,
Like clear as day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was on the camera part too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because I gave you guys one of my lavs, the little microphones, and I heard that too. I caught all that audio of, you hear it sounds like a big piece of wood just tumbling or being thrown is what it sounded like. Like, yeah, it's such a weird thing, and because you guys got so scared. It was so funny. Just to hear your reactions, I was like, oh man, just because when you're there, like, oh god, like, yeah, you're like feeling it. There's that energy, and obviously, if it's objects that you recognize and you hear this stuff, you're gonna have a different kind of reaction than if you're like listening from your home or something, right? Like if it's remote or something, but.
definitely, they were all being crotchety. They were being crotchety to them. Being crotchety. They like just teamed up and they're like, "Let's get him."
Yeah.
It's the last night. We gotta get him out.
That was.
It was. Like I said before, when I was over there, I feel that this place had more active stuff going on than Bobby Mackey's when I went there. I mean, Bobby Mackey, I got a few stuff, but at the Abbey, tons of amazing stuff. It was just happening all at once and everything.
Yeah.
Each level.
Yeah.
I think everybody captured something, right? I think everybody had their own experiences. It just depended on where you were and what was going on. And I think we had a couple of different methods, right? Like for our group, like with Susan and Caitlin and Jim, we kind of just hung out in a room like for like an hour. Like we would just do that and try to bring the spirits to us and talk to them and go from and then we would move on. But it seemed to work out for us. I don't know. I saw you guys. It looked like you guys kind of you stayed in a room for maybe, what was it, like 20 minutes, something like that, and then kind of move on. Is that kind of how you guys, was there a reason why you did it like that?
Sometimes like we'll get a few good stuff, and then you can tell like they left the room or they got really quiet. So when we leave the room, we'll go somewhere else so they could come back, and then we'll come back and see if we catch more stuff and different things. And sometimes we'll get like a shadow will go one place and the other shadow will go to the other place. Sometimes we will split to go follow them, because I feel like, what's the best way to do it? It's like trapping them coming right in the middle, and then that's where we get the good stuff right there, because they don't know where to go, because they're thinking we're over there. They're like,
right,
where do we go? So if we all just team up and get them like right there, then we'll get them, but probably in a way they're probably gonna be pretty pissed off at us, and if they're so annoyed by us, then they start doing the pushing or the screaming stuff,
the throwing, or the
and that's the stuff we want. So why, might as well just try to do that. But we're trying to do our best not to, piss them off, because we want to know who you are and how you feel and all this other stuff. Because once you get them pissed, man, they don't leave you alone.
No.
Yeah, like with Nick, he was they were pissing him off.
Yeah, they were like challenging Nick left and right. Like he's like, hey, come on, get me, big shot. Like, dude,
wow.
And then I got
Yeah, he kept challenging them. So
and it was really cool because they were cool with us for a little bit. Like when we went to the what was it, the haunted house, the Dark Side Abbey. That was really cool.
You love
horror? My videos, and it wasn't like there was nothing mean or nothing. They were like, I will say, we are lost. Can you help us? And you could hear them say, take a left, go here. They're literally guiding us, laughing at us. But there's this one.
They was meowing.
And I'm yelling back, and they're meowing at me. And I remember that night, I didn't mean to make you mad at me, but I heard a dog bark. I was trying to make sure it wasn't you. And you're like, why would that be me? Like, I don't know. Why would there be a dog barking? I don't know. I'm just asking. But the dark side one was
Make me mad. It's just I kept on tripping out.
I was just asking questions and all that. But what was that one thing? The part where we got closer to the clowns, the clown dolls, you could hear the
I think that was at the
but you could
beginning.
hear the voice getting
Yeah.
louder and louder the closer we get, and you could hear one of the voices, "Jump her, get her," and laughing. I'm like, dude, those dolls are alive. Those dolls are alive. So I'm saying, if we gotta do a separate room, I want that room by myself with the clowns.
Just
'cause-
don't bring
wow.
one home.
Yeah, they're ornery.
So
Yeah.
Susan,
Clowns.
I know you got to go in a couple minutes. I do have
No,
one.
I'm good. I rearranged my schedule, so it's all
cool.
good. Yeah, it's all
Okay.
good.
Okay, so I have a question for all of you then. Basically, why? So my big question is, when you first wanted to go to the Abbey, what did you want to experience? And when you go in there, what were you planning on doing about it? Like what were you expecting, and maybe what were you wanting to do? Like what were you trying to get out of the experience?
The storylines, like you hear rumors, you hear all this stuff about the place. So, I mean, some of it sounds realistic, some of it sounds kind of phony, but you don't know because you weren't there. But if you get the actual story from the kids, they could give you like their backline story and everything. And I mean, when the first time I went there, I went down to the chair room, and we were using our EVP box, and it was, you could hear children talking, asking us the questions instead of me asking them, and they were playing with us. And then when we got closer to the chair, I remember it got completely dark, quiet, like nothing's going on. So I thought they left, and all of a sudden you hear one kid said, "He's here." I said,
Oh,
"Who's
crap.
here?" And right behind us at the entrance, you hear this growling sound, and me, my old partner Scott, and the other one, we just looked at each other like, "Oh, who's this? What's going on with this?" So, and you're thinking, church, everybody be okay, but like I said, you hear those rumors, but the growling, and it just makes you question, like, what really happened here? Because obviously, these are not angels; these are not good people. It's just something bad happened, and
Lucky buttholes.
yeah, you just want to know more about it. After that, it's like, okay, I gotta dig in deeper in this situation. Why is there growling? Why are the kids are afraid?
Right.
Of all the things out there, that room will always going to be in my head when I heard that growl. I mean, I heard growlings all over every time I go ghost hunting, but that particular growl, it literally gave me the chills, and I'm thinking, what the heck? What is this? And then
Was that the second night?
it was the second night,
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
but it was
So after us.
pretty much, yeah.
So like
Right.
so after we had our experience, I was curious because we were upstairs and we were all freaked out, and then we saw you guys walk in. I was through, on the cameras. We're like, oh no, like hopefully, things don't go south for them, but obviously it did, because at that point the bad
Good.
thing was already there.
Yeah, and it's like for example, when I go ghost hunting with some like people who wants to be a ghost hunter and stuff like that happens, they always run away. Like, where you guys going? This is what we want.
Right.
This is like what we need to have proof that something here exists.
I'm always too shocked to run away when I see.
I know
stuff.
you freeze. You'll freeze up like.
I'm like,
I'm like, wow. What else can we get out of this?
What is that thing? Hope I don't die.
And then a dog thing, like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
I think
It was loud as clear as day, and then we got what was the other room? Was it the fourth floor? We heard like the howling sound and more meowing sound. Was the
I
third?
thought it was
maybe you're right.
I thought it was
Yeah,
the
I think you're
third
right. It
floor.
was the third floor because we after we left Dark Side of the Abbey, we couldn't figure out how to lock the door. It wouldn't shut on us. And so we had to go find Gramps, and we heard him talking and found out Gramps wasn't even in his room. He was nowhere in sight. And we're like, oh man, well, we gotta go find a time we can't lock the door. And all of a sudden we hear voices upstairs. And you can hear a woman chit-chatting with a guy. And I mean, we were like, you can see on the camera, like doing that little Scooby-Doo tippy-toe thing. Going like, what's over here?
Hey, that's what we are. We're Scooby-Doo. We're all together.
Yeah, we're the Scooby-Doo gang over here.
Yeah, and then we kept hearing it. We were in between it, and it kept on doing in one stairwell. It was making a whole bunch of noise, like somebody was coming up. And then when we would go that way, all of a sudden we would hear it on this side, and then we start hearing like the talking, and we kept hearing the and we were both looking at each other like, "Did you hear that? Is Nick coming up here?" And yeah, so it was pretty crazy that part. Because they try to get us to go back and
going
forth.
over the EVP so freaking hard for me is like what we were saying, like, oh, is that him? Oh, is that a ghost? Like,
was that me talking? We can't. You gotta remember everything, and
I swear to God, some of them mimicked our voices.
They did.
They went over so many, and I'm like, I know that's not them.
Yes.
Yeah, they literally will mimic your voice by mocking you almost.
I've never had a place like that drive me insane. And then another thing we found out, again, there was some I just had to ditch because I wasn't sure, but like some of the EVPs with the water leaking, I swear to God they were using like the water sounds to talk.
Oh wow!
Like the water was giving the energy that he needed to be more open, more.
It was so fucking weird. It was like, nobody will keep that. They'll say I'm crazy if I say that's EVPs.
I say keep it just in case, because, like I said, you hear a conversation, and every time we go up there, even with just me, or the whole group, or whatever, or we're just hanging out with Gramps, and we still hear that conversation upstairs.
Yeah, I think that was the thing that was crazy is when you actually do communicate with them and you get responses back and it's real. It feels you're very much part of it, and you feel that energy. And that was like for us with Susan in the chair room that first night. I sent you guys that audio and the video for YouTube, but it's all about, we were playing music for them and they loved it. They were right, Susan. They were like, weren't they touching Caitlin? Like
right. They were sitting at her feet. They were all kind of, her back was to the wall, but they came and sat at her feet, and it's not like they were tickling her leg, but they were kind of touching her shin to let them know that they were there and they were enjoying her singing, that they were safe. We kept them safe from that whatever ugly energy that was out there the second night, whether it was in the basement or when we were in the little girl's room, because the voices changed from the first night to the second night. And and I appreciate you, BJ, that we were able to do this, because we went into this as a family going, okay, are we going to walk around by ourselves and shit in our pants, or are we going to, find someone that would take us under their wing and let us kind of do almost like what we did. I apologize if we kind of sat and everybody was starting to get bored. We didn't know what to do, but we wanted to at least see if the spirits would talk to us, reach out to us. Not necessarily let with them doing their, what do you call it? When
spirit box, or? Well,
no, when the families would bring their child in and say, get the demons out of them. But,
like
the
an exorcism.
Right. We wanted to, not take them with us or anything like that.
Right.
But I appreciated, my children appreciated the opportunity, and we try not to say too much openly about it because of the names that were used. And unfortunately, my grandson is going through some hell right now. And when they used his name when we were sitting there, my daughter didn't catch it the first time. And I eyeballed her because I did not want to repeat it. Right. And she did let her children come and visit Sunday morning. And I think it was it Sunday? No, Saturday morning.
Saturday morning,
yep. We were there Friday night and Saturday night. And I kind of was eyeballing her because they said my grandson's complete full name. Well, first and middle name. And I was like, holy shit. And
Yeah.
when she heard that, I was like, how did they know? They wanted to know where he was. And but do those machines really real? Did we really hear those voices? Did we really connect with all different names? I enjoyed the experience. We'll say that, yes, it was all good, and I enjoyed it. I'm learning about it and would like to do it again, but my daughter's like, hell no. We've had enough. We don't want to keep on burning sage every weekend and stuff like that. So our little store that we didn't get to take you into, the Kaleidoscope, that Sunday that they were open, they probably got a good $300 to $400 off of us because my daughters got medallions, they got the sage, they got the rocks. Yeah, they, yeah. Woo.
Yeah, they were freaked out. I could tell. And I think the good thing is, and that's kind of why, like, I enjoyed being with you guys, because I wanted to just sit and just kind of take it in, right? Almost like a meditation, and then just kind of just breathe in and feel the energy of the room, right? And kind of just go from there. Because, like, for me, going like room to room in a hurry, I mean, I think that it was good as a tour, like during the day to walk around and see everything, but like at night, like just pop a squat, sit in silence, really focus in and try to connect with something. And I think that's what helped with the first night is with music. We were able to connect with the vibes of the songs, and they were too, because they'd say, "Oh, that's a good song," or they'd say, "Play something," or all the different things, how they would respond. And yeah, I mean, the spirit box, that's I mean, I don't know how to feel about it. Like, I believe in it, but it's also like, how does my question, maybe Mimi can, or you guys can answer this, is how do those spirit boxes really work?
Well, it's like it's not a good way to explain it. It's not the scientific way, but how I understand it is ghosts are like static electricity magnet, kind of like static electricity is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And then like how the radio wave.
I think it has something to do with the radio waves too.
How the radio waves work, they're able to like tap into it and like manifest with it, like almost like I was saying with the water. It's just that it's a white noise, but it's a really good white. It like matches their power. And again, that's a horrible way to explain it.
No.
Right. They use it to manipulate their what they want to say to you. They use all of that, the radio waves, all of it together to come up with the words to say to you. I mean, there's different things we could have used other than the radios, but yeah, it's the only way that we know for sure right now that we can get true answers other than those doggone apps. I don't like the apps, but I mean, some people like them because sometimes, I mean, I tested it where I've tested it using the spirit box, and then I also tested it using the app, and it was saying the same thing. So I'm like, well, wait a minute here. Maybe they are kind of, but then again, it's like, it's your own choice of how you want to communicate.
The thing, like,
with
which
them.
spirit box are you going to use? Because I think the one that Jim was using, I think, was good for us because it wasn't like, there wasn't extra sound, right? That was the only thing that with the radio one is it's just cycling through, and then you hear all this extra stuff, but then like every once in a while you'll hear right. So it's
the
white noise.
Sounds like a robot orgy. I hate listening to it.
Yeah, a lot of people hate. Oh, I hate that sound. But hey, if it gives you the answer words, you gotta do it. Unless you buy those really expensive ones where it actually cuts out the static. Then it's okay, but once you
echo box,
the echo box. But since you're used to that static sound, and somebody actually used the one with that doesn't have the static, you're just like thinking, is it on? Is it working?
Sure.
And when you go turn on and they say something, you jump back like, holy crap!
Well, that's the one how with Jim's, like when we were with Susan, that it was quiet. So it would sometimes it would have like weird echoes, but then you would hear clear cut like voices and words, and you're like, well, where is that coming from? Like it can't just be some, and it was different, right? Like sometimes it'd be like a little girl's voice or an old, like a deep voice from an older guy, and you're like, that's weird. Like, what is all of this, and why?
Yeah.
Right.
Gotta be careful on that too, because they can manipulate. If it's a, it could be, yeah, they could throw you off by doing that tricking you if it's a girl or a boy or a man or a demon, as everybody says. But it's you gotta just go with it of saying, well, I don't know, it just depends.
Well, that's what they said.
It's how you feel.
The second
about
night,
it,
they did
what I
tell
feel by.
Caitlin that because we were looking for an Eli and also Marshall, and I think it was, that's not Marshall. Caitlin said, no, that's, and I believe he said, tricking you, because we were looking at Marshall and Eli probably as 10, 11, maybe 13. But the second night when they're like, I'm Marshall, you could definitely tell that that was someone 16 and older, you know, that, and Caitlin's like, oh shit, you know, we're in trouble now. And it was just not happy. And when we were downstairs in the hallway the first night, it was something new. A lot of feelings that we had, a lot of what was the connection. My daughter's connection probably could have been a little bit different than mine on explaining why the connection was happening. She thought she felt 3 spirits there, but then during the other surrounding, it was the black climber person. I think we were trying to see the crawler or something, and it was, and I'm like, okay, so which end of the hallway is this coming from? And Caitlin felt one side of the hallway was safer for her than the other side of the hallway. And then all of a sudden this butter knife came from nowhere on the floor, and during the time that she was leaving, the knife disappeared as fast as it appeared.
Wow.
And she left it there, so she does not have it.
Oh, okay.
She left it there where, I don't know, she didn't tell us, but she left it there because she felt, yes, it was a gift to her. That's how she, you know, accepted it and felt it was given to her as a gift, as probably protection, but she left it there because of our feelers and stuff, that she just didn't want to bring it home, but still wanted it to be respectful, that if it was something, if they gave it to her for protection, she wanted it to be there still if she ever came back, or protection for someone else. If that was the only way, that she said it was, she felt 3 nuns were with her. And unfortunately, my daughter has had the conversation that I was having. Maybe I was wrong, but my poor daughter has had numerous miscarriages. And so I was like, well, maybe these nuns or something new, were those her babies? You know, I mean, there's a whole, I mean, you can take it out as far as you can throw it to see what was she really, what was her concept of what she felt. But that's what she felt, that whatever was dark down there, these 3 entities that she said were nuns, were trying to protect her in the hallway.
And that was, I caught that on the audio when I was going through, and it was funny because I took a couple pictures too, and I was like, is that a butter knife? And then you guys look over, they're like, oh, like that wasn't there. I'm like, no, I don't think it was, because Caitlin was right there. She had literally walked in that spot where it was, and she's like, yeah, there was nothing there before. Because that's the thing with that hallway, it's pretty bare. Like there's, you know, it's nothing. Like there, I remember when we walked down there, there was a screw that was kind of sticking out from like the bottom of the wall, but that's it. I'm like, because you know, you want to be careful where you're walking at night. That's kind of, or in the dark in the basement. Correct. But then you would notice a butter knife in the middle of the hallway, right? Like that would be something that you would easily see or hear if you kick it or something, right?
Correct. Like, yeah, because it wasn't right up against the wall, it wasn't in the middle of the hallway. But if you're down there with a flashlight, it would have reflected.
Oh yeah, I did. Yep.
I think it was.
It was right when we came down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Too.
So, yeah.
Me and Zoe came down. Yeah. We actually saw what was watching you guys in the cameras with Dennis. And before we came down, there was some black standing with you guys. So the side that we came down on is where the actual black figure was standing right where you guys were. And that's when she was saying something about seeing something black, and I seen it come down and stand there. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going. I didn't want to interrupt you guys. I had to leave. I was like, nope.
And Susan, actually, you meant, I got this on audio too, where you said, you're like, did you hear that? And I said, yep, I caught it on audio. It sounded like like somebody like tapping a few times on the ground, or like the sound of maybe BBs falling on the ground.
Yeah.
Which was very weird. I was like,
yeah, it was like you had like a little ball bearings. And then you just kind of like drop 3 or 4 on the ground, and you can hear them going ping, 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 ping. I was like, oh shit, that was crazy.
And it sounded like it was very, very close, but there was like nobody had bumped into anything or knocked anything over at all. Like you would have, because we were all just standing there, just, you know, just listening. It wasn't like there wasn't things to bump into, right? There was a door or window, but there wasn't anything to knock over. So I'm still trying to figure out what the heck that was.
I thought it was tapping on the window part. You know, the part where you guys were all sitting. There's like it was like a glass window part there, and I kept hearing like this tippity tap 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 behind me, and I'm like, so I moved, and I was like, all of a sudden I seen it go up the wall, and then it was hanging. It was weird because it was hanging right over you guys. And I'm like, well, I think I better go. And I thought, well, if I walk away, maybe it'll follow me instead of hang out with you guys. But probably with you guys hearing that metallic was maybe because those wires up there on top of the ceiling.
We had a lot of cold.
When it was going across there.
Depending on what part of the hallway, it was this cold spots. And then it would get warm, and then all of a sudden we would start the talking or whatever, and then just coldness. We'd walk like just inches or a foot or two left or right, and I was like, where is that cold coming from? And that's what was really creepy.
That was maybe my favorite. Well, that wasn't my favorite part, but like it was the part that you could really sense and feel. You could just reach your hand out and be like, oh goodness, like this is really, really cold right here. Like, why is it so cold in this spot? And it was like throughout the place, right? It wasn't like equal temperature. It was, you would just walk just like a foot, like Caitlin, for whatever reason, it was always, you know, around her, you would feel these spots right around her that were super cold. And in the chair room, obviously, when we were doing the songs, you could just tell that it was just like they were all just gathering in and just kind of hanging out with us.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, what song did you play that they actually liked?
So we played like some like Christian stuff, some like it was like a lot of like country / bluegrass stuff, like the one where it said, you know, that's a really good song, where we got that was Leanne Rimes' is a How Do I Live song.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have a playlist of it, but yeah, we played a lot of female singers. So it was a lot of like female singers, beautiful voices, and they were just like all about it. They're like, yes, like play some more.
You know, we try to find more historical, like where, if this was in the 1900s, what kind of music did they listen to? And that we were trying to make them feel more at ease about that. And then when we were in, is it Annabelle's room? I can't remember.
Oh,
her
right.
name.
Yeah.
And we started playing songs for her. So when you guys were saying that there's a dog on the machine, we were trying to think of child songs for her. So we started singing Bingo. And so one of the boys got on there when we were singing Bingo. He goes, woof, woof.
Oh, that's the one.
Yep.
I remember saying like the dog barking didn't sound like a dog. It's like somebody actually doing that.
That
somebody barking.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Well, that, and you'd say, and Bingo, what was it? B-I, and then you would hear the spirit bugs go, N-G-O. Like I have it where yeah, we were all like, oh shit, it's doing it with us. That's crazy.
Oh.
So pretty much less monk music and more bluegrass style. Like I said, they hated that monk music.
Maybe it brought back.
I'm sure, yeah, I heard that. Because you guys,
weird.
Yeah.
It was definitely
I don't know
something.
if they hated it or that crawler hated it. Let's just put it that way.
He was intense. He was super
It was him. It was him.
Yeah.
what did
Didn't
you
like
guys?
it.
So what was
He
that
didn't
song?
like it at all.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like we're. Oh, okay.
Nick's one had it. I'm not too sure.
I just
What one was it?
yeah, I just remember hearing it. I was like, ooh,
The
like it's a
song.
haunting.
They had
Yeah.
a lot of chant into it. It's pretty much like you will hear in like movies when they're going inside of a church.
He sent me the lyrics.
I think it was a morning blessing or
Yeah.
something like that, or
That's
more.
right, you said prayer
I
on
think
it.
that's what he was saying. It was like a prayer.
Yeah.
Prayer.
Like I played a couple songs from like Oh Brother
Yeah.
Where Art Thou.
I know that movie.
Yeah. So there was a lot of that kind of sound. So it was like kind of uplifting, kind of positive vibes, and I think that was the whole that kind of just continued through the night. It was just all of that. It was just like, yeah, like we wanted just to keep going, and but yeah, obviously you guys had the opposite of that.
I don't know why.
Like, even as me, we all said, dude, enough. They don't like that. He's like, let me play one more time, and that's where that piece came flying.
Wow.
I know it's weird, but that's what happened.
I mean, I know we didn't want to get something. But I
That's
don't want
what
him getting
happened.
knocked across the head, and they're like, oh, gotta drag him out of here. Let's
I like
go.
That guy. I want to explain to his.
Somebody,
Yep.
I thought somebody actually said that they caught the growling and some other stuff at the same time that was
right.
happening.
Hey,
Because I kept seeing it going back and forth in the doorway, and I was like, "Oh God, here it comes! Here it comes! Here it comes! It's getting ready to come!" And I kept on telling him.
It was.
We kept telling him to
fast going
stop
past the door
playing
and
that, but he's like,
everything.
"Oh, this is a little bit more, just a little bit more." And we're like,
Why?
No,
well,
it was
"Here it goes!"
Well, and I heard,
Hey,
and the funny thing is your reactions to those is you'd say like, "What the fuck was that?"
Like, holy shit, did you see that? The one but also on a video, we had like that little pot, and right when he started playing the ghost says something, and then that's where we heard the pod going off, and it wasn't going, it was going off like somebody's just dropped dead. It
Right.
was draining all the juice out of that battery, and then at the end,
Oh my
when we
God, yeah,
finished it, you
it was
see a little
draining.
orb fly into the sky.
when he was saying he's trying to scream,
Yeah, that's right. He said, "I'm trying to scream."
and then he goes, ah.
And he made his terms, yeah. I mean, I think that was on the EVP one, not the video one.
I caught it on my recorder, but I think that's because I remember the REM pod went off, and then that
It was
happened.
loud. Even I had to figure out to lower it down because
I
if
could
you
be
hear it, it
remembering
was
from
loud
that.
for the headphones. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, again, when that thing aim at Nick's head, that's like I said, you hear a voice says, "God,"
Oh my God!
just like a
That was
And
that was one thing.
in the chapel that happened?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, you guys, when I listened to that whole section is like it's probably like 6 minutes of just constant things. And then you just hear that REM pod just it won't shut up. Like that was when I was like, you guys are having some things going on there, and it doesn't want you there.
It happens.
Oh, and
Yeah, forgot about that.
it kept darting around the back too, where they do, where you go through those one doors, the changing room
Really?
doors, or going towards that way. You kept seeing it dart through real fast, and then it dart through again. Like, nobody's running through there, are they? And then all of a sudden I seen it again. I'm like, that can't be nobody running because that's going fast. And then all of a sudden I seen
it's
it
funny that you mentioned that,
come up to
especially
the
about the changing room.
towards
So
us.
I didn't tell Susan this, but when
Yeah.
they were actually in the Abbott's room, and I had my friend on I was showing her FaceTime. We were kind of a remote. She was doing a remote guiding thing because she's very intuitive. She has a very sensitive to everything. Like it's like she's scared of it. Like it's kind of a problem.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she felt this, that there was a spirit like following me around, like when I was in the hallway by myself, and I was just trying to talk to it, and she kept hearing this name, like Eric. She's like, I don't know why I keep hearing this name, and then I didn't know this until the next day, but apparently, so she went to bed. And that night, like a bunch of like stuff kept coming off of her in her bathroom, just being knocked over.
Wow.
Yeah. Right. Because she kept thinking about it. And we just talked about it today as I did another podcast with my other friends. We were doing the 3 Haunted podcast, and we had an intuitive on, and she was telling us all about, the reason why. I mean, you do sage and everything, but if you really want to get rid of stuff, like, Jesus says, like just let it go, let it go out of your mind. Like just let it go. So that way, because if you think about it and it's with you, it's going to be with you. Like, but if you're able to just let it go and think about something else, then obviously, I mean, you can do the sage and all the other protection stuff too, but it is kind of important to kind of let the fear go, let the deep thoughts of it go, and then come back to it later when you're trying to in the daylight, and you can kind of listen through stuff more technically instead of from a scared fear perspective. So that way it's not like there's a severed connection, right? So
Right.
that there's
Right.
But yeah, crazy stuff. Like I think for me, I've been to a couple haunted places, but not like that. And I haven't ever felt like that intense of things in many different things, right? It wasn't just one thing. You guys, so one thing that I've noticed, and when I've done podcasts and talked to people that are intuitive, they talk about vibration, right? So high vibration, low vibration, that kind of thing. So if you're a high vibration, meaning you're positive, your state of mind is good, you tend to attract that. So with spirits. And then if you're running at a lower vibration, you're upset about something, then the bad things start to come towards you, or they see you as a target and that kind of thing. And so it kind of depends on where you're vibrating at, or if there's what's there, right? And then that's kind of how you connect. And I don't know if that's what it was for you guys. I didn't know if you guys one of you guys was vibrating low, and then all these things were just like
It was definitely on and off. Like if I was in a basement and in a chapel, it was a very low, heavy vibrate feel going into it. And it's really weird because I'm always looking at everyone else like, does anyone else feeling this? And then I feel like, all right, I gotta figure out why I'm feeling this. But when we went to like maybe the 4th floor or the 3rd floor, and I got the lighter vibe, everything's going good, I feel pretty dang good actually on that. But I will also say I feel like the positive inside the dark side of Abbey. It was like they're playing with us, but they're guiding us, and you can feel it too. But when we get to the top floor, it's again that deeper vibration. They did not like us up there at all.
So for me personally, I knew there's little happy spirits, little cute spirits running around. For me, like that one, I guess the crawler one. Well, like he was so like there, and his spirit was so like big, and
He was ugly.
I couldn't, like, they were there, but like it's like, say it's like he's standing right here and they're back there, so like I gotta look like that. Like he was distracted. That's a better way to put it.
And like, do you remember Mimi when I were coming out of where the bell tower thing is, and then I saw somebody run across and went straight to the bathroom. I missed it, but as I'm getting closer to the bathroom, you start hearing this woman start saying things.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. I have it on video. I can't wait to release this. I literally got a girl said "Hail Satan," clear as day, and I sent it to Nick. Like, dude, you're not gonna believe this, dude. It's there. You can hear it. "Hail Satan," like clear on it. I was like, whoa! I did not expect that. I don't know how to react to that, because usually I get like stuff like that. So we're in a darker area again, not at a church. So I'm just like,
we get stuff like that at like Third Bridge.
you know, right?
But there's been some stuff that's happened. I think there's been some stuff that happened there that because of them they do exorcisms there, and so they do that. But there was a point where there was an area that I want to say in the basement that Dennis actually had to get on to some people because they had a Ouija board down in there. And then there was another spot that had something else that they thought it was kind of cool to do it or something or another, but you never know if they closed it right or what they were doing before you got onto them or any of that other stuff. It just depends on what we bring in there too with our energies, like we were all saying. But there is two aggressive energies in there that I always feel, and that's the crawler, and then there's I want to say a gentleman. I'm not going to say he's a demon or a monster or any of that, but he does portray himself trying to, like a werewolf. It's stupid. Let me just put it that way, because I see it every once in a while, and I'm like, what are you doing? Because it'll go back and forth, like it's challenging, and it looks like a werewolf. And I'm
no,
like,
you're good. Like,
okay,
I wonder if it was
see you
Philip.
again, but I mean,
remember I took a picture of that.
I lost my train of thought.
I had a woman in the shadows, in a reflection, and then I took a second one just to see I'm not crazy, and it had a face of a human, but the beak like an animal with his tongue sticking out. And I took a third one, and it looks like a pure gray wolf. And I took a fourth one, and there was nothing there. So
yeah, I want to see those pictures again. I have to see that.
Send it to you.
Because if you post it in our big group chat thing. But yeah, what I'll probably end up doing as well is going through the audio and just making like I'll have like maybe a picture of where it was, and with a little caption underneath saying where it was and what you hear, and then you I guess you can decide for yourself. But I don't know. I it's cool, right? It's kind of an addiction, right? Like you want more, right? I don't know. I do. I
definitely want more. I always say the scarier the better. You got something if you got something that make me want to scream or run, I'm down for it, man. I mean, like there's been times where we're actually running and everyone's like, oh my god, and I'm over like laughing my ass off, like, yes, this is it.
What were you saying, Susan?
Oh, nothing. I was just laughing along with everybody,
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it was, because that's what, for me, like I'm a little bit sensitive to this kind of stuff too. Like I can feel things. Like I think I told Susan this story, but like the first time I ever felt a paranormal experience, I went to one of my friends. They were renting a house in Washington Park area. And I went inside, and I like immediately felt this presence of this little boy at the top of the stairs, just staring down at me. And I had never been there before. And then I go up to use the bathroom, and again, intense feeling. And then I go back down, and I tell the people, I was like, is your house like haunted? And like immediately they're like, yes, absolutely. There's a spirit here, but it's not like evil. Like they're like, yeah, we get along with it. It just kind of move stuff here and there. Like, I was like, okay. I'm like, I haven't experienced that before. But they're good people, right? Like they weren't shithead people. Like I feel like if you have horrible people, there might be an issue, right? There might be, the spirits might pick up on that and might be more upset and be like, get the hell out of my house.
I sent them to you. I sent you 3 pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
Some spirits get very territorial too, especially all the ones at Abbey. I mean, they all look out for the Abbey, and some of them, I mean, there was a couple of them. I didn't know if anybody picked up on them or not, but there was 3 last time I was there. Not this last time, but last time I was there, and it was a family. And I don't know if they moved on or if they were still there, but it was a husband, a wife, and a child. That was what I saw down in the basement.
And we actually got
were trying to get
a little girl
attention.
calling out for Mimi and asking you to come back.
Really?
A couple times.
Yeah. They're like as if they, you're like the mother. They trust you and all this other cool stuff.
Cause like I felt bad on the ride back because I didn't realize why I felt like so scared and like I was gonna cry. It must have been it hit me. It was a child.
Yeah, you're feeling their energy.
It was a child, and I didn't realize it until I left, and that's probably why. Like I was there, and that's why I want to go back.
Yeah.
Because that other one, he was so distracting.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that he was weird. Yeah.
When I set this all up, I told you guys all that you guys were all going to feel it. All the different floors are going to have many different energies. Each building is going to feel different too. So that's the way I feel every time I go over there. Each building has a different feeling, and each floor has a different feeling. It's like this when you go throughout all of them, and it's like, you're like, well, wait a minute, what's going on?
We went up there, we got voices screaming and everything, and we were with Colorado Martini with us, and we're being all serious, and you could feel the energy. It was just getting like darker and darker, and I don't know where you hear her husband in the bathroom going, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And we just laughed. We just lost. We just laughing our ass off.
I want to meet them.
They're so cool people. They're the amazing people. Especially the husband likes to goof around. He just makes you laugh. But as we're like, you know what? We got some stuff. Oh, okay, cool. Let's go all the way back down to the library because that's where we originally met. In the library, we're going all the way down. And on the video, and I heard it with my ears, and everyone else did too. We heard my full name being called out. And you know me, I had to say, was that you? I want to make sure that it wasn't someone trying to mess with me. And they're like, dude, that wasn't us at all. But you heard it clear as day. And I know it offends people when I ask them, like, was that you? You're doing that, aren't you? Because I know it makes people mad. But you just, like I said, you want to make sure that it's like you're not crazy or somebody's messing with you. Because I have people in the past who are actually trying to mess with me. And you can't figure that out if that was them or not. Because you want to debunk it by showing like, okay, that was the wind, that was your voice, that was our footsteps. You just want to make sure clear as day. So if I say that to anyone, I do apologize if I upset people when I ask that question, but I just want to make 100% sure on if it wasn't you or someone else.
I don't think that's. I don't.
You're like, that wasn't me. I'm like, well, I'm just asking. Sorry.
You didn't make me upset. I just thought it was funny because every time I turned around, you're like, "Was that you?"
I don't think you should be upset or anything. Like, yeah, I mean, that's what we do. We're just like, what was that? Who was that? Because that's the thing when there's a group of people, like you try to keep the noise down here and there as much as you can so that it's not drowning out possible crazy stuff, right?
Exactly.
Well, that's what happened Friday night. Since we started so late, we heard everybody's tummy.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Was that you? Was that your feet or sitting on the floor? Oh, that was me. Oops, sorry. That was my stomach,
We had one, and I'm pretty sure he's going to hate me for saying this, but we were in the dark side of Abbey, and we were feeling like we were being surrounded. And I don't know where our partner Nick decided to go, I'm sorry, guys. And I was like, dude.
He knows.
Dude.
He knows. He listens to the recordings.
I was like, dude, I'm putting that on a blooper. I am not deleting it. That was the most funniest moments ever.
I'm amazed he didn't make that the intro to this podcast.
I'm sorry, guys. And they're like, what's going to happen?
It's better him than me. Usually I'm the one doing it.
We get those a lot of
Sorry, me.
stomachs. And we're like, oh, that was my stomach. And sometimes we'll get like a fart, and we're like, oh, that must be a demon, just as a joke and everything. But it's it's good to be serious on your job, but it's also to have a little fun with it. And that right there was just funny as hell. And I'm gonna keep it. I know he's embarrassed. I told him, dude, I'm gonna keep that in the video. Just let you know. He's like, oh man, really? But yeah. It's fun. You gotta have fun with it.
You gotta, and that's the thing. When my biggest thing going into it was, I know things might get a little hairy. I know things might get a little sad. Things might get a little intense. But my big thing was go in there positive. Go in there positive. Feel what you can, and just try to stay that way. And try to be almost a helping hand or a positive for the spirits that are there, right? Because ultimately, it's, you try to help them or give them a good day if you can, right? Like for the music thing, I think that was the most positive thing, was just being able to have them hang out and listen to music with us and enjoy it, right? Give them something to enjoy if you can't help them pass or whatever that you want to do.
I'll admit, I forgot. I got his name, one of the shadows. His name is Dave or something like that, and he's a smart ass. I mean, people probably get annoyed by him, or maybe get like kind of scared. But every time I get Dave, he's like, oh, gee, you think, or what was it? We were in the part where they said they put the body ins, like in the side, that little cell looking thing. And I think it was next. This is where they put the body at, and you hear a voice, you think? Like, it's like, dude, I love that. It's like, it's like funny for me. Like, he's not scaring me. I'm not scared. I just think it's just absolutely funny when he do stuff like that. So
I love to make ghost friends. Like, to further on what you're saying, but like how I've always looked at EVPs is they're just people. They're just invisible. Just talk to them and be friendly. Like, act like you're trying to make a friend, and you'll get good EVPs, and then you'll actually get ghost friends.
Yeah.
Like, there's places you'll go, they'll recognize you, and you'll get better evidence than the other people because they know you.
They recognize you. They know your energy and everything. And
I believe that.
For me, it's like, how do I put it? I was gonna say something, completely went blank. Holy crap!
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I had it in my head.
Think about it. But that's how Jim was when he was there. He was saying, you guys know me, like, I've been here before, like, say my name and all that kind of stuff. So that was the one thing that we did too, was we always introduced ourselves. We're always like, all right, my name is this, blah blah blah. And I think for them, I think it helped connect better because you're getting to know them. You're telling them, you're not just a stranger walking through their house. You're being like a regular human being. Be like, hey, like, my name is this, like, thank you for letting us, walk around in your beautiful home. And like, we compliment it, tell all the things, and just be like, hey, we're here if you want to talk to us. Like, that's give you some company for the night, that kind of thing.
Yeah, they were saying that they were cold. The children were saying that they were cold.
Oh, we got that too.
Yeah, we got that as well. And I'm always telling people, like, just because they're dead doesn't mean they're going to do new things, because they always say they're cold, or they remember something in the past, or they're learning new things, how to move things around, how to use our energy and all that. So I always tell people, like, they're still learning even though they're dead. They're still going to figure out how to do things. And it's amazing, like the strong ones where they actually could just feel you and talk to you, like clear as voices. I mean, doing all stuff like that, it's freaky, but you could tell that they learn how to do this, because there's times where they're screaming but you can barely hear them because they don't know how to do it. So you got to like train them, like, hey, do like this, scream over here, or just try and do something just to help them out. And when they finally got through, you could tell, and by the energy, like, they feel happy, like, oh my God, I finally got through, or I finally get to hear music. Oh, here's some company. They love it. And it's just amazing. But but then of course you got those other ones who just want to be left alone and doesn't want nothing to do with you, and they would do anything to scare you, just keep you out. Yeah, it's like I'll be out there tomorrow night, but right now leave me alone. But I don't know. But yeah, I always say just because it's a certain place.
Leave me alone for now.
Like I said, like this is a church, and also I'm getting hell singing and growling, all this other stuff. You know, you don't know what to expect because you heard rumors. But to me, what I like to do is I don't want to hear the stories. I want to find it myself. Mm-hmm. So when we do that, like the detour, oh yeah, people have caught this and all that. I don't want to know that. Then, because then it sticks in my head thinking, I saw it too, but I want to be surprised.
I always mean to find out the story, but then I always get busy and I forget to read up on it. So same, but for a different reason.
Well, that's actually how I met Mimi was on the Weld County Paranormal girls and their tour in Greeley, and they're real good about telling you the history, like getting into the in depth of all of the things and putting the foundation for like why it's weird here, like why is there things going on, right? And I think that's important. I think that's one of the most important things, because that way you can attach to it in a deeper way than, oh yeah, I just heard a knock on the door or something, right? It's like, no, well, who's doing the knocking and why does it matter? And so, and with the Abbey, it's just, there's endless amounts of stories because there's so many spirits and so many people that have gone through there in so many years and so many different rooms. And yeah, so yeah, it was amazing, Mimi. I gotta say, like, I'm really happy I got to do it. And it was, you were amazing. All of you guys.
Oh, yeah.
You better go back. Y'all better go back.
Well, thank you. So are you. All of you guys. I enjoyed hanging out with everybody and hearing what they all got at. You know what I mean? The next day, except for when the bad stuff happened, I was kind of leery about that because I was like, oh no, I didn't want nobody to have anything bad like that. But we were kind of warning you guys at first that, you know, we're probably going to have to sage and, you know, we got to get rid of the energy. Tell them no, they cannot follow you home, and no, they got to stay there. And because like, some people said that if you would have took that, if your daughter would have took that knife home, she might took some energy with her home,
couple,
you know, or
that
who knows what would have happened
helped us at the end. That the woman that was upstairs that we were talking with, and then she came down, and you know, I mean, she approached me straight off, and you know, addressed the situation on hand, and it was like she didn't blink. She just you know, she looked at me in the face and said, "This is what's going on because of this, this, and this." She didn't know me from anywhere. And yes.
Yep.
So I have no idea who they were. All I know is that she basically helped us out, and
they're with spirit
she had asked
right?
questions that possibly no one else could have known, or you know, ins and outs of questions that she asked. And things that she told me that I needed to take care of, or why things were occurring because of me as a mom, or things that I was going on, or in protecting my children. And I mean, I just didn't know. You know, I would just like to know who she was, and that she comes here often, or.
Yeah, she said she's a clairvoyant.
Venus has a gift, don't she? She does, right, you guys? Yeah, she's got. Me and her both was together talking about how some of the things that we were seeing. Yeah, so she's a clairvoyant too. So yeah, she has that gift. But yeah, when she came up to you guys, she probably seen it in your guys' eyes and felt it on you guys, because I saw it and felt it, especially you, because you kind of had a little bit of an angry spirit with you a little bit at the end. because I'd seen it in your face, the anger and stuff. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. So when she was doing all that sage, that's why I walked away for you guys to get it done. And
Yeah, I
she
don't
could
know
sit
if
there
it's
and
just
do it with you
my
guys and stuff.
natural
But she
being of
told
just
me
being
that she's
cautious,
seen
because
it
even
too. So
there's a
and
lot of
felt it. So
touchy feely things. I mean, you watch the original Ghostbusters and there's all the other things. And when we were sitting in the room upstairs, when Dennis was doing his little spiel and he made a joke and he looked at me and I did not laugh because I was being very cautious. I was listening. That's all I was doing. I was surveying the area as a
Uh-oh.
mom with my kids. And I listen to people. I don't always listen to say that they are telling me the truth when I've met you for the first time. I sit and I listen and take everything in. And he made a joke and he's like, boy, you're a hard crowd. And I'm like, and then I came to the understanding is like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
Because I was just in the mom mode and I was listening. And I'm like, okay, so my just feelers out there because of how he is able to be there with the cameras, and then he has those spirits. Who is he? You know, is he a gatekeeper? Is he the gatekeeper of a key? You know, so it's like
He's Ghost Gramps.
so he's trying to have a conversation, and he's like, "Well, you didn't laugh at that." And I'm like, "I'm not here to laugh."
I think he was trying to make it easy, like make lighten the mood, because I think we could all tell. I mean, I was there, so I felt I was like, let's get out of here. One thing I don't know if I told you this, but when we were down in the chair room, like I told you, I was like, it feels really heavy and everything, and then that's when we left. I was like, do you guys want to leave? But I had this overwhelming feeling like my spidey sense went off. Where, like, have you ever had has anybody ever thrown something at you and then you like duck out of the way?
Oh yeah.
Like that feeling, like it was that intense feeling, but nothing was happening. It was just like, oh God, like what the hell is this? And then that was kind of the alert to me being like, yeah, we need to get out of here. This is not,
especially after the music, and then they were not reacting to the music with goodness.
No,
they were just like, you guys need to, get your shit and leave. Thank you. So
yeah,
we were like, okay.
I don't think Gramps was trying to. I don't think or Dennis was trying to do anything harmful. He was trying to lighten the mood and try to make us feel more comfortable, if anything. Because he even said that he's like he was trying to say like, don't worry, because even if you leave this place, they can't leave. They with the way the building is set up and the way they've saged all the every inch of the place and all of the things, it's like, this is where they stay. So, but
I enjoyed it. I'm glad I pulled the trigger. It was an expensive trigger for a mom to take. I wish I could have had all my kids come and do this with us, and I appreciated everybody's support and us coming as a family just so we can experience but not chase through it. We weren't there to aggravate anybody. We wanted to be there and support the spirits are there, get to know them, without everybody influencing us of their stories. We wanted to experience and just, hopefully maybe bring them joy, bring them closure, or if there's something that is ugly in there, going, yeah, if you really need to go there, but it's not, I don't want to go there because there's ugliness. There's nothing that we can do. We're not strong enough, as a group to get the ugliness to go away.
And the thing that I heard today when I was talking to the clairvoyant, the woman that I was talking today on an earlier podcast, she was saying, just remember, like, you have a eternal soul, like you are powerful, and they know that, and they try to attack that, but they have no power over you at all. You are the strong one. Like and and that's what you just got to keep in mind, like that. Yeah, things can get scary. Things can get, out of hand. Things can get thrown, but ultimately, like, you just say no, like get out of here, like leave us alone. You know, you cannot follow us. And you know, that's the biggest thing that you can do, because you have that power and they don't.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, though. I mean, right? Like in the moment, it's like,
It's like, how many pairs of breeches do you need to bring, you know?
yeah, I feel like you know, because it was the first time, right, for you guys, that you know, if you were to do it in a different place, in a different area, maybe it gets easier, right? Like maybe for you guys, because you guys have done a lot of paranormal stuff on different places, I feel like it probably gets easier for you guys, huh? The more you do it.
It gets easier after a while. And I mean, I feel like I talked to my friend about just the more you go out, the more you could get more of that energy more stronger for yourself to feel more and see more the more you do this. Because, you know, not only that we're there to just chase them and get the answer, but I want to learn from our experience on different things. Because I guarantee you, like I said, I've been doing this since like the late 90s. I'm still learning today on certain things. Like I'll be hearing new noises I never even heard of, this new energy vibe going through my body I never even felt before. So I'm trying to study it. Why am I feeling like this? What's causing it? And it's just amazing experience in life and about death and everything. Like how, what they're dealing with, what they see, what did they went through? How can I help them to get out of their trap and stuff like that? And like I always say, like I always bring people who believes in different things. I never bring one type of person. I always bring everyone because I want to see what they react to, how you handle it. Like to me, I'm not a Christian, but I do believe that there's things out there. I'm not an atheist or anything like that. But like,
you believe in the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just amazing energy, and I love bringing people with us, like people who don't believe in. I'm like, if you don't believe in it, and you're curious, you know, come with us. And there's times where people are like, oh my god, that was so cool, I want to do more of it. And then you got the other people who doesn't call you for a month and realizing they don't want to be your friends after that. You know, I mean, that's fine. This is what we do for a living, but you know, yeah, and it's like. Exactly.
I took a lot of.
Oh God, I'm the are you,
I took a lot of investigations that don't even want nothing to do with it no more. Especially my husband. Like, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. I'm in the car with the taser. That's what my husband does.
Everyone's downstairs, and there was this child room where there was a white floating head, black eyes, black nose, and lips, and he saw that. And he freaked out and ran all the way down the stairs, sliding all over, told Mimi, you're on your own. I'm going to sleep in the car. And I'm coming down the stairs, and everybody's looking at me like, what'd you do? I'm like, I'm innocent. I didn't do nothing.
It was a ghost, man. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just doing my own thing.
That's so funny. Yeah, everybody reacts differently to that kind of stuff. That's
then we went out
funny.
to the car and we had the taser on going.
You ever seen like when you have like a
Okay.
floor? You know when you have like the wooden floor and your animals running around sliding all over? That's pretty much what he was doing. He was sliding all over trying to get out of their fat. Yeah, he was
You don't
doing
ever
that.
want to
I was
go
like,
That's
what
funny.
the hell, man? I'm like, I'm sorry. And like I said, that when you and everyone was staring at me, I'm like, I'm innocent. I know that look. I am innocent. I didn't do anything.
So I have just because we're winding down. We were already actually at an hour and 22 minutes, which is crazy that it flew by so fast. But yeah, I wanted to, before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you guys if there's anything that you plan on doing coming up, or if there's anything that you guys wanted to plug for things to look out for with your podcasts, or any events that you got going on, or anything that you're looking forward to.
Well, since the eclipse are coming, it's going to raise them up more. So if anybody's going ghost hunting, it's next Monday. If you're a ghost hunter, go do something, because the eclipse makes them stronger, and it's way crazy on it. So we're going to the third bridge.
We're probably gonna die.
We're probably going to die on it, but hey, you know, last time we went on the third bridge, come along. We always love people coming with us. It's
Where
like I
is
said,
that?
It is intense.
Hey, no,
Where's that
I'm
at?
not going.
I cannot
Nick
run.
asked me to
I
go.
run
Nick
like a
asked me to
bitch.
go, and I don't know if I'm going now.
Or
No, it's past Denver. It's way up
I think
east.
it's in Denver.
Like past, I think it's even past Parker, if anything.
Where's it
wow,
at?
Okay.
You
It's way
too?
out there, and that's the.
It's
if
in
you
Denver,
check
right?
our channel out because we always go back up there. That's where we found like random dead animals
Where?
wrapped in plastic with different like just. It was gory for normal people to look at it, to the point where there's certain spots I had to like censor it out so people won't get all
Right.
spooked down about it. But it is very, very dark out there. Very, very dark. So
It's like it's intense. Like you know how Lord of the Rings has like the tree guys that come alive, the living trees, and like they write on them at the last battle.
Yeah.
Like if those guys actually existed, I would imagine they feel like the stuff that's running around there because it's really weird.
it's beyond weird out there.
alien.
Mm.
It's
So
super
Monday.
It's Monday. Like I said, like, even if you just want to ghost hunt in your own house or whatever and do what you got to do, I would say Monday is the
Like
day.
Monday after the eclipse, or what time do you
During.
think?
It could be before, during, and after.
Okay.
Because like I said, that something about the eclipse, that energy just makes it so much stronger. So if anybody's want to do it live or do it on your own broadcast and everything, I would say do it Monday.
Okay.
It's good to know.
Oh, man.
I was going to say, today's
Me,
Thursday.
I have an investigation for a client on, I think Saturday. Tomorrow. No, Saturday. Excuse me. Monday. I'm lost. And Monday, I was supposed to hang out with you guys, maybe if I'm able to. And then, what?
Okay.
Next month, May, I'm supposed to go back to the Abbey. And then I think in July, I'm supposed to go back again. So other than
Nice.
that, I got probably a million other ones that I have to do because I got like three clients I have to do their houses and help them out. So
And where can people find you guys?
For us is Bandit Paranormal. I can't even talk today.
It's right there, Ambient Paranormal.
Right there.
Put that into YouTube and it'll pop up.
And we're doing more on our TikTok because Gramps gave me lots of advice and some ideas for it. So I was like, that's the way to do it. So TikTok and then of course YouTube as well.
Cool.
There's also an Instagram, but I need to get back on there. The Instagram is the same name, Ambient Paranormal. And it has like a bunch of fancy pictures of the places we've been, like so you can get a better view of it. Because like sometimes a video we just go through, you don't really get to get a good look of it.
Right.
Because we got into some really pretty places.
And most of mine are all under my name is Mimi's Hauntings Paranormal is where they could find most of all of it. Even my business is Mimi's Hauntings Paranormal.org, I think is the one where they can go on there and see. And then my YouTube is Mimi
Yeah, there are.
Black
There are way too many platforms.
and some of the other ones, but yeah.
And Susan,
There's
is
too
there
many
anything else,
platforms.
anything you
So
wanted to plug or anything you wanted to that you're in search
20 million
of
of
next?
them.
No, unfortunately, my family is doing a lot of healing right now. Has nothing to do with what we went through. So, you know, I'd rather not say anything over a podcast.
Right.
But those that had been involved in the talking and stuff, we're just in unfortunate healing right now. And that's why Caitlin couldn't be partaking. She is on a plane flight. So she probably scared. Sky is in her own little world with her family. So I don't know if even Caitlin had mentioned it to her. I wish she could have spent the night. Why she didn't want to spend the night. You know, her husband was in town. So I wish she could have experienced. She's kind of a little shy when it comes to this because she has her own little spirits that like to come visit her at her
Sure.
home, and she just was like, enough now. Children attract to her. But other than that, if there's something that's quiet or just educational wise, or everybody talks about the scary stuff. Hey, let's go do this. Hey, let's go do this. But that's nothing too exciting.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Till Monday. No.
That's not too bad then.
And I forgot. I do have an event
Oh, wow.
in August, but I'm still
Oh, damn.
getting the works on all of that. So it's supposed to be in Cripple Creek. So I just got to get a hold of everybody and get that all figured out, where we're going to be and what's
Awesome.
going on and all that. It'll be a whole weekend again, but
Yeah,
I'll
my
let
daughter
everybody know,
she
and
wanted to participate in
it'll
the
be on
mayhem.
Facebook and everything, so
But
that everybody will know.
we were
about it.
gonna. There's Dennis had also
And
said that
join.
there was another gentleman that was going to be there that we've met before in the past that had rotted. I don't know what he calls it. Rotted the cemetery, and he was a very nice gentleman. And we were hoping that my grandson and he could connect, but the way that the spirits had come up with my grandson's name, my daughter's like, he's not going to step 1 foot on those grounds, that dirt, anywhere near that right now. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Because I said, are we going to go? And she's like, no. We're in. When we first were there, we were motivated. We heard about the mayhem and like, hey, yeah, that would be a good idea. Get to listen to some people talking and whatever. But yeah, that's a negative. Right.
Well, if he has protection on
Yeah,
him,
my
like you guys said,
yeah,
you went and bought all
we
those
always used to
little
call them tigers
things.
when
He
my
should be all
daughter
right
had
if
lived
anywhere else
on
he's going,
Fort
because
Carson,
you said that
and
they have
he never
gifts, right?
really
Your
slept.
grandchildren,
We used to
they
have to
have
swing him
a
even
gift
when they lived
too.
in my home. This little boy maybe took cat naps, but when they lived on Fort Carson, he would wake up and sit up in his bed, and he goes, "Mommy, the tigers," and he'd sit up and he'd point. And my daughter would want to make sure, is he sleepwalking or not? And that's another trait that my family does have, is that I do have children that sleepwalk. I was like, great. So, yeah, I mean, and we try to keep it to ourselves because we don't want to get those that are like, yeah, right. Not all of our family members agree or I don't believe,
Sure.
and I'm like, well, there's a lot of things that other people can do that I really can't believe. You can't really fix an elevator, but you have the tools to it. I mean, it's things like that. They just don't see, and we don't sit in a circle and talk about it unless it's just us. We just don't want to freak people out or discredit us on.
Well, you have us
Anyway,
now. You have a
yeah,
community. You ever want to reach out and you have questions, or we could always get you in touch
Yeah.
with people that
sure.
that can help you. And if you need it, or if you just want to talk, right? Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be.
No, I appreciate it. And my other daughter, Caitlin's twin sister, will be coming home. Or I shouldn't say coming home. We'll be back to the United States as of Friday. So if there's any other events coming up, I'm sure she would be great, because she's the one that had found the adults' remains here on the Riverwalk. So, yeah. So, And I like kept her sweater and everything because I didn't know if the cops needed her sweater. I'm like, you wrapped a skull in your freaking sweater. They're going to need it. They're going to need to
Oh, wow.
the dirt that's on the sweater and whatever. And, you know, I was at work in Pueblo and she was crying on the phone. Mom, I found him. And the cops took Daddy's camera and I don't know. I'm going to get. I was like, babe, take a breath. I said, you're safe. And you help somebody. And even at the end of it all, of course, the newspaper people had to get involved. And here she is, you know, just in high school. And she told him, excuse me, it's not about me. I don't want to be in the newspaper because I found this person. It's closure for this family. Go talk to this family, not me.
Right.
I'm a young teenager. I don't want to put my foot in my mouth and, you know, or over say something. I mean, they shut the Riverwalk down and they took care of it. And, you know, I try to be an educator to my children and learn old-fashioned things, take them to the museum and be the geeky person. And that's how their friend found out that their house in downtown was the house that the doctor of the KKK was, because I took her over to the museum. And her mind got blown. And it's like, yeah, why don't you step out of the house and learn about your community and, you know, just even walk in the streets. I feel that we can even walk downtown Cañon City and you can just feel the energy because the prison was there. It's not just the prisoners, it's the families that came to this area. The Indians, the indigenous people. How do we know that even where I live or up near Dawson Ranch, there's all that property? How do I know that my house wasn't built on a burial? Knowing what I know and the respect, I wouldn't want to be disrespectful to people's. That's how I was brought up. You walk in a certain way in the cemetery, and then when we go to these Halloween things at the cemetery, people are just walking all over the cemetery like crazy, and they're not respecting it. So that's my story. Anyway, sorry.
No, we could do an entire podcast episode. Yeah, an entire podcast episode just about that, just about the town and your daughter's experiences, and and your grandson, like all of that. There's just so much there, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad I got to meet all of you guys, and I hope to obviously keep in touch and do some fun things, you know, out in the paranormal world, and
you better
go from there.
From the third bridge.
See, I don't that I don't know. Like, I actually do have to work on Monday. Like I have like Wednesday. Yeah, I have like Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays off. Those are kind of my days off. So,
oh, come on.
We'll figure it out.
You met us, and you know you're stuck with us, and willing to do some cool stuff, even if it's not ghosting out. We could go nerd on each other with like the whole turtles and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm always down for anything, really.